Hello, ladies. Welcome back. How's your week? You had a great week, I hope.
I've been tiresome.
So Wendy, if you want to tell everyone why we have variations of purple on today.
Okay, so it's October, and October not only is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we are wearing our purple, some version
The support.
yes,
Versions thereof.
in recognition of domestic violence victims.
Thank you so much. And you know what, guys? Domestic violence, that is a real thing. So let's just be mindful, keep an open mind. And you know what? Listen to your friends, talk to your friends, because sometimes people have things going on in their lives and you don't even know it because you're really not paying attention. So let's pay attention
to
our friends and family.
Let me tell you one thing. I'm a survivor of domestic violence as well.
Well, Bonnie, you got 9 lives, girl. Thank you.
Yes, just a survivor.
Every day, I thank God every day that I'm here because yes, I have been through it there and back.
Well, you know what? You do not look like what you've been through.
You don't look like what you've been through.
I know. You know, when they ask me what's my secret, I tell everybody it's God's honest truth. I always say to God, whenever I'm in one of those kind of situations, God, if I get through it, please just let me be me. Let me be Bonnie. I just want to be Bonnie. I can't be anybody else. I have to be me. So, God has blessed me with letting me come back and be me. So,
and he truly has, Bonnie, and we wouldn't have anyone else but you the way you are. So thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
So listen, everyone, once again, please like, share, subscribe, leave us a comment. We want to hear from you. We always want to hear from you, hear what you think. You know what? It helps us with our content. We want to be mindful of that. We want to talk about things that hopefully you would like to listen to and be a part of by leaving us a comment. Hey, ladies, so listen, since, we are ladies, we're mature and we still are looking for love. And, when you're in a relationship, there are so many components to it, no matter what stage of the relationship you're in or what age you are. There are things that are more important to you now at this stage than there were when you were in your 30s. And it's so funny when you look at these things, you're like, well, yeah, I don't really care about that as much anymore, but this is real important. So let's start with you, Wendy. We have a list, guys, and I'm not going to read the list for everyone out there, but I will put some of this information in the content.
There are 18
I counted
pieces of advice. Okay.
You're not gonna read it? You're not gonna read it for our listeners?
No, it's a lot. It's a lot. I think they'll get the gist out of it if we read the 5. First, Wendy. So of the 18, read the 5.
No, you could have read the 18, but not
just not the description of it. Just the
right. Just
write down the list.
Okay, so you want me to read the 18?
Yeah, read the 18. So
just really quickly.
Okay, I can read them. So these are relationship attributes. And the first one is talk to each other and communicate your needs. That is always at the top of the list. The next one is listen to each other. Sometimes we close ourselves off and we don't listen to each other. So let's listen to each other. Remember the positives about your partner. Make repair attempts. So make repair attempts in your relationship. Don't let things fester. Spend time together, always important. Date night, folks, date night. Work on feeling good about yourself. And you know what? I don't want to stay on that too long, but you got to love yourself first. Before you can love anyone else, you have truly got to love yourself, feel good about yourself, and it makes the transition to love someone else so much easier. Next, we have make plans, set goals for your relationship, be supportive, try not to judge, learn from arguments, stay calm during disagreements. I gotta learn that one. Look at your part in the conflict rather than focusing on your partner's contribution. Be sexually considerate. Interesting. Be attentive. Be attentive. Another important one, because there are a lot of men whose what is it? Their love language is affirmation. So they like women that are attentive and affirming them. Not sure if that's who you are, but enjoy yourself. So have fun, have a good time. Be flexible and share the power. Now that's a hard one.
That's a hard one. I
totally agree. So that is the 18. So Wendy, of the 18 for today, where you are at this stage in your life, what 5 relationship attributes are still important to you?
Okay, I thought that list was just way too long. Would have just really, a lot of that is just communication, okay? Listening and, fighting fair and all of that kind of stuff, however they worded it. But for me, let me just give you the rundown. Okay, for me, and let me just say this too, guys. It's been a while since I've been in a relationship. This disclaimer, okay? I've been in a situationships and what do they call it, entanglements. Okay, it's been a minute since I've been in a real relationship. Okay,
Okay.
so take that, into consideration. But enjoy yourself. To me, that's kind of on the outside of the onion, right? If this was an onion, enjoy yourself. Of course, you're gonna do that, right? Attentive and plans and goals that gets a little deeper in the relationship to me, but that's important. And then even deeper would be the sexual consideration and conflict resolution and learning from conflict. Those are really, you're really in that relationship when you can do that.
Okay, all right. Love it, Wendy. Love it. So you thought that through. So so the gentleman out there that is waiting for Wendy, you heard that, right? Okay. And Vonnie, let's hear from you.
I'm going to do what they did because I believe what was written here first sums up every single thing that was on here, all the 18 things. It says, a good relationships mean different things to different people. However, good adult relationships generally involve two people who respect and can communicate with each other and have equal rights, opportunities, and responsibilities. That everything that was said is that. Okay,
Yeah.
we just have small names for it, but that's holding a relationship together. That's the glue to me. Okay, I don't need 5 things off this list because that one paragraph right there says exactly where I'm at.
Yeah.
What I'm looking for and what I think would make a good relationship.
Well, as you look at it, because I understand what both of you are saying, but the reason it's broken down for me, the way that it's broken down is because in a relationship, there are so many components that you have to take each one individually. So is there anything on this list for you right now, as it is broken down, that you would say is most important to you in terms, because they're all components of communication, but you're not doing them all at the same time. You're looking at them individually as things occur.
Yes, true. Now, what stood out for me was, of course, talk to each other and communicate. What I liked was the repair attempts. I thought that was very good.
And that's like saying you're sorry.
Yes, not necessarily saying you're sorry, maybe holding a hand, not saying I'm with you or against you, but we together in this. I like the sexual consideration. I think that is a lot because I value sex a lot in my relationship. And I know that as you get older, bodies change, tempers change, temperaments, I should say. So what you did before, you may not can do right now, but I still think that there's a consideration. You need to know what you can do. So to me, I like that rule.
Okay.
I mean, that was 3.
Well, thank you, ladies, for breaking that down for us. Now, and as we
and you feel like what? What were yours?
Oh no, I'm getting ready to tell you. But I was also going to say after I finish and we move forward, let's look at the list and decide what of that was most important to us when we were in our 30s. Because the thing to me, what's important to me now, not all the, there's some of the same things, but not necessarily all. So my first thing was talk to each other and communicate. I think communication is on everybody's list because when you don't talk to each other, you assume stuff. And 9 times out of 10, when you assume, what do? You make what do they say? You make an out of yourself. So you have to
you make an ass out of me and you.
Exactly. So you really have to be open, and that's the hard part for me sometimes, is getting men to be transparent and to be open. And then sometimes a man will say, "I'm not soft like that." Well, it has nothing to do with being soft. It has to do,
Soft, right? Being
to
honest.
me, when you're with your mate, that's the one person that you should be able to be open and honest with, and show all, peel back, like you said, the onion, Wendy, peel back all the layers. If you're with the person that you truly love, you should be able to peel back all the layers and be very transparent. The second one for me was remember the positives about your partner, because I think one of my love language was affirmations. I think that was one, if I'm not mistaken.
It was.
So I would want to do the same thing, is remember the positive things and reinforce those things about my partner. And I underline this, and it says one critical comment needs 5 positive comments to counter its effect.
I missed that.
Can you believe it says one critical comment needs 5 positive comments to counter the bad comment effect. That's a lot.
Wow,
That's a lot.
that is.
And not only it's a lot, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't have as many critical comments, then you don't have.
Well, and that's true. But I just thought that was interesting, having to really start to think about that, with your partner, coming up with 5 things to combat something negative. So
Wow.
my number 3 was spend time together, and really spend time together is like communication. That's all of this, because whatever you're doing, any of these things that are broken down, you're spending time together. But I think they took it a little bit further in as far as, have date night, do things together, have plans together.
Always, yeah.
But see, that's why I say that if you are with the person that you're compatible with, none of this is an issue, because
Right. It's
you
easy.
don't
It
have
comes easy.
you don't have to plan any of those things. You just decide you're going to do this because you both like doing it. And that's what it's all about for me, is being with someone that likes the same things that you like. And I have learned that over the years, because you can't change people. I'm not trying to change you. You like smoking cigars. You need to go smoke your cigars. And if you're going to come back to me, you need to make sure your teeth are brushed when you come back. Otherwise, stay where you at. So I won't try to change you with the cigars, but you definitely got to brush your teeth.
Right.
Next, my 4th one is the same as everyone else's. Be sexually considerate. Be affectionate. Sometimes a lingering kiss, and this is what you were saying, Bonnie, about when you're trying to make up just a warm touch or something like that. So it says sometimes a lingering kiss or a warm hug are just as important as a conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's intimacy. It's really
Exactly.
Right. For a woman to like lay her head on her man's shoulder is very intimate. He feels, oh, my
Oh
children.
yeah, he
what-
puts
and you feel, a little docile, because maybe this you just feel like that. You fall into that.
That's the effect of that's the feminine effect. So share the power. I think we all had that one, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, share the power. I mean, I'm all for letting the man lead in the relationship, as long as he knows how to lead, because you can't lead me if you can't. I'm not a good decision maker. And so that means I'm with the wrong person if I'm not with a good decision.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's a hard one. So we have to like be on the same page, because I went through that in a relationship where someone just constantly promised they were going to do these things and nothing ever happened. I mean, how long are you supposed to wait before you get it done yourself? And then the next minute, you're doing it all yourself, because sometimes those people just lay back. So,
Nope, I agree with you 100%. Sharing the power, sharing the decision making, all that's important. It's not like in the 50s where the woman stayed at home and she was a housekeeper, so she wasn't worldly. She really couldn't make any decisions about anything. The man was the person. He was out in the streets, working. He read the newspaper. I never seen a woman on those TV shows in the 50s read newspapers. Did you?
Not
No, they was
even.
cooking and cleaning usually.
Exactly. So back then, the man made the decisions, and things are a little bit different today. So, ladies, as you look at this list of 18 relationship attributes, are there any here that you would say were more important to you? And some of those could be the ones you selected in the top 5, but are there any of that here that were more important to you when you were in your 30s, looking at life differently? Anything for you, Vonnie?
I don't think that we were so focused on the communication part of it, fighting fair, because communication is, you can fight, but you have to fight fair, right? You don't hit below the belt and say things that,
Well, especially if you love the person.
To take you 5 positive things to combat the negative that you said, right?
Right.
So who was thinking about that in their 30s? They were very self-aware. They were.
Yeah, that's true.
You can say anything, right?
Exactly.
So that's the part, the conflict part is definitely something that you grow into, or hopefully.
Right. I agree. Anything else?
Learning from your conflicts. That's,
that would have been more important to you when you were in your 30s?
No, you wouldn't know. You probably didn't really get that.
Probably ran from the conflict in your 30s. I'm not gonna be bothered with him. Really? He's not gonna tell me what to do.
Or you mixed it up a little bit, You mixed it. I was a little hot-headed, so I kind of mixed it up a little.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I was too, and I didn't know. I just left.
Yeah. I mean, you probably, that's so, I don't know, Chris.
But look over and listen, think about it a little bit. What about you, Vonnie? Anything that on this list that was more important to you in your 30s?
Remember, I was married in my teens.
Well, in your teens, we can bring it down.
No, I didn't think of that kind of stuff. I wish I had it. Truthfully speaking, I wish I had it, but I would say I know more about that kind of stuff than I did when I started out like that. And I didn't really think more of it than my 30s. I was already a mother, working, trying to make it. I did really.
No, I understand that, and that makes sense. You had your priorities were different as well.
Right, exactly.
So for me, ladies, enjoying myself. I mean, I like to enjoy myself now, but when I was in my 30s and 20s and even early 40s, it was all about enjoying myself.
Yeah, I wanted you to say that was the whole.
Yeah, that was more important to me.
Yeah.
And stay calm during disagreements.
Was that important to you in your 30s?
I circled it, but no, it's more important now, really, in all honesty. It's more important now because I knew the kind of person I was, back then. And making plans back then was more important to me. Having goals, setting goals in your relationship and things like that. Well, not at this stage of the game. No, making plans and setting goals in my relationship. I just want to sit back, enjoy life with somebody that wants to enjoy life with me, be a good person, help other people, do things together.
Plan our trips.
Exactly. all that other stuff, no, it's not that important. It would have been important back then because thinking about building things together, creating a life together. Let's see, make repair attempts. This was kind of important to me back then because I knew how I was. I'd be like, darn, I can't believe I said that. So then I try to figure out before I run, how could I make it better? And usually I couldn't make it better, so I just disappeared. Ghosting was a thing back in the day. This would have been more important to me. If you have something to bring up, do it gently, because it was important to me back then because I knew how I was. I just blurt stuff out. I wouldn't think about it like I think about it now. That would have been important to me back then had I been cognizant enough to recognize that I wasn't that kind of person and needed to be more that person. Because
now, you know what? I will agree with you on that. For me, yep, I'm 100%
I was
really even
definitely,
think about that. Yep.
I was definitely a hothead, and if you wasn't, you weren't in line with me, you could just walk. It wasn't about me trying to develop and be and have a better relationship, and no, it wasn't. But those should have been the things that should have been important back then. But and now they're not as now they're not as important. I think because some of the other things kind of encompass those things, so they supersede that right now, because I feel like I'm a step further beyond that I'm not going to regress and put myself in that state where I may say something out of character. I really try to think about things a little bit more before I say them, because before that wasn't necessarily the case, and I didn't even care.
Well, that's what I mean about the growth. This is all of this stuff is very self-aware, and I was not.
No, and if you were like you said before, when exceptional,
right?
You were exceptional. If it didn't work out, we like, bye. I gotta go. It's a party next weekend.
Right.
I'm sorry. I mean, and I was, and even doing all of this stuff, guys, I was still getting good grades in school. My friends are laughing at me, like, how you do that? I said because when I'm in class, I listen. Mm-hmm. That's the difference. Y'all don't listen. And wait. And even with my listening in class, when I was in grade school, I used to get those notes. Chris does not listen in class. Teacher didn't know I was listening, but I could talk too. I get no sense.
Too much. She talks too much. She talks too much.
Wait. She sure did write those notes home. And you know what I did? I intercepted everyone in the bad boys until one day I got busted. My mother went to the PTA meeting, right? And it was my 5th grade teacher, Miss Minor. She said, thank you so much for responding and signing the letters, because I was Christine back then. Christine's right. A very smart young lady, but she just tends to talk too much. My mother was like, because I was there, letters. She looked at
letters. What are you talking about?
Well, I was busted at that point. I didn't say anything because I knew I was getting my butt whooped when I got home. So anyway, that's what life was like back in the days. So ladies, any party?
And here you are talking for a living now.
I know. I still never stopped. Darn it.
Right.
Bonnie, you have any parting? We've got about 5 minutes left, ladies. Do you have any parting thoughts about relationships and the things that are more important to you at this point in your life?
I think if you meet someone and you're compatible with that someone, then it is your job to make sure you keep that someone. You get them and you keep them. And you keep them by doing a lot of these things on the list, but mostly keeping yourself up and be aware of things and just be on top of it. And that's what I say.
Okay, sounds good to me. What about you, Wendy? Any parting thoughts?
I think that, it takes a while to get to these levels, that they talk about. And I hope to get, in the middle, there's the intimacy, and that's the goal, right? Emotional intimacy and physical, just everything, right?
Right.
That's what we're looking for, but it just takes a while to get there, and you cannot, it's a process. You can't rush it.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And with that said, Wendy, that it's a process, ladies, my thought is this. Do you think that people that have been married like 40 years, where do you think they fit in here? Do you think they would be like, well, we do all of that, everything's fine? How do you think they would respond to something like that?
You mean who are currently married?
Yeah, that have been married like for 40 years.
Mm-hmm. Do you? Well, I think that they don't have to talk as much. Right. You know what I mean? They used have like nonverbal things.
No, you're right. You're right. Nonverbal communication. They can look at each other and know what they're thinking at that point. But I would like to think that some marriages that have lasted and stood the test of time, even though they didn't identify these things as such, that they actually did a lot of these things to keep the marriage going and keep it built up. And
definitely with the conflict and the apologizing and that type of, well, it wasn't,
Exactly,
they didn't say
exactly.
apologize, but basically it's the same thing as apologize.
Right, it is. Hey,
Yeah.
listen, folks, we need you to once again leave us a comment, share, a like, and please
Right.
subscribe to our channel. We are having a great time, as always, enjoying sharing
Yes.
these conversations with you because we believe that there is still a silver lining.
Silver
There
lining.
is love and maturity. We truly do believe that. So listen, we will be back next week. We hope to see you here. We hope to read some of your comments. And listen, guys, have a wonderful week.
Have a great